Hello there Traveller and welcome back to the Drowsy Dragon. This video is all about the ultimate preparation guide to the Midnight expansion. It's not long to go now and now's the time to make sure you're ready. So let's dive into it. First of all, we're going to talk about UI. Now don't worry, everybody is talking about UIs, so I'm not going to talk too heavily today about this. I'm going to talk more about general add-ons that you should really get. As for the combat UI, of course the add-on apocalypse has happened and many people were left unhappy with their UI in combat. You're probably going to have been one of those people. So I did strip mine back all the way to having 0 combat add-ons, not even a damage meter in there. I was using all the base Blizzard UI stuff and I got it set up to a decent level, which I was quite happy with. I have now started to experiment with some add-ons though. So I did take inspiration from Luxtos, big credit to him here. On his YouTube channel, he's got a video going through his combat setup and he's got all his strings available there for free, of course. So big credit to Luxtos for doing that. So I've taken inspiration from Luxtos, but just kind of moved little things around and made some minor changes that suit me a little bit better. And I recommend you do the same. But combat add-ons are one thing, but WoW isn't just combat, is it? So here's some add-ons that I would highly recommend you get before Midnight comes around, and just get them now because they really are that good. So the first one is Plumber. What doesn't Plumber do? It does so many different things. I've mentioned it before on the channel, but it's one of the add-ons that I will always highly recommend because it does so many cool little quirky things that you don't even notice are going on, and features that frankly should be part of the base UI as standard. The add-on is that good, it does feel like it is part of the base UI when it's doing good things. So yeah, Plumber, cannot recommend that add-on enough. Just get it, install it, it works perfectly straight out the box, you won't regret your installation. And next up for Midnight, for any collectors or people that like going getting all the rares, treasures, mounts, all that kind of stuff, get Handy Notes, because this is just fantastic for putting everything on the map so it's really clear to see. Now, you do have to get specific installations of Handy Notes, so there's this one here, the Handy Notes Midnight Treasures and Rares. Download this, it's basically already good to go from information on the beta. So when you open your map, when you've gone in there, everything's just there. You know where everything is. Really handy, hence the name. Get the add-on, super good. And if you're going to be using this, then of course TomTom is what you're going to need to be able to copy and paste coordinates in there, and it'll put a little handy waypoint arrow and the point on your map for you as well, so you can follow that to your destination. So TomTom and Handy Notes, dream team combo. And also for those rares, Rare Scanner or a similar add-on, just so you never miss the spawn of a rare. And if you're nearby one, it's going to do a little alert which you can customize, and it will also guide you to that rare as well. So there you go. Now is definitely the time to get your UI sorted so you're happy with it for when the expansion launches and you don't have to sit there in Silvermoon tinkering with things. You can just hit the ground running straight away. The next thing, of course, is to decide on what main you're going to play. Now, for some people, this is an easy decision. For others, especially when there's some big revamps coming in, it's quite a hard decision to make. If you haven't yet decided, what I would highly recommend you do is go on the beta, if you have access, make a level 90 character, put the talents in, check out the Apex talents, and just play it. Even if you just play it smacking a target dummy, ideally go into a dungeon or do a delve, do something solo, and just see how the class feels. You've got to remember that pre-patch is not the best time to make a decision about classes, especially when you're trying something new and you're not that familiar with it yet, because we're not level 90, we don't have all of our talents, we don't have the Apex talents, we don't have tier sets and proper level 90 gear, any of that stuff. So you might find that at level 90, you enjoy a class more or less than you do currently at level 80 in this weird pre-patch state. So best thing to do, get hands on, give the classes a go, and see for yourself. Just because a friend likes it or a streamer likes it doesn't mean you're going to like it too. So try it yourself. If you're really unsure, I do have a video coming out soon about 3 specs that you really should try, 3 rework specs that I think you'll find really fun. So stay tuned on the channel, subscribe so you don't miss it, and that video might help you make your main decision. The next tip is to sweep out the event. Now the pre-patch event, yes, it's pretty bare, so it's not going to take you long to get all the rewards from this. We do have, of course, the achievements for killing all the rares. They're on a rotation, so you could sit and do this all in one go. This will get you the Minutes to Midnight achievement, granting you the cool mech mount. They have been updated to spawn every 5 minutes now, instead of every 10, so you can get this done quite a bit faster. The insignias also got buffed from rares, dropping just 1. They can now drop 2 to 3 each time. You've also got the achievement for doing 50 wins of the tic-tac-toe minigame. So either come here and click on this book to play the game, or you can buy this toy from the vendor for 13 Signas, so you can play the game anywhere. When you're playing it, top tip, just make sure you select the corners, so go like one and then bottom and then top or bottom on the other side for a pretty much guaranteed win. Or a draw, but you usually win. So sweep it out, get all the rewards from that. You've got the mount from the vendor as well, of course. You've got the 3 decor items, which I believe you will be able to buy from Silvermoon when this event is over. So fear not, just buy 1 copy just in case, and then you can just stock up on more when Midnight comes out properly. You've also got the Twilight Cultist set, which probably won't be available after this event, so just buy all of the things. Get the pets, get the transmog stuff and all them good things. And remember, if you do want to farm badges, the best way to do this will be to do everything on your main first of all, including the weekly quests, and then get your alts to complete the 4 available world quests, as they give you 10 badges each. That's going to be the most efficient way to farm this event, once you've killed all the raids as well. Another thing to give a go of is the Brawlers Guild, because the pre-patch came with the stat squish, didn't it? And that made a couple of things easier. So first of all, Brawlers Guild. The bosses in there are very easy now. They weren't too hard to begin with, as long as you do the mechanics on certain fights, but now's a very good time to do this. So go in there and destroy them while you can. There's 3 pieces of decor you can get from this: the Champion Brawler's Gloves, the Punching Bag, and the Brawler's Barricade. You can also get Brawling Bruno and the Ballistic Bronco mounts, as well as Tyler Grondon and Clockham battle pets and some other cosmetics. Do make sure you do the achievement for the Brawl Star while you're there by talking to this panda and adding the additional effects to the fights to get certain achievements. A nice side effect of this is, because the bosses are really easy now, even when it's quite busy and there's a queue, because the fights are so quick, you don't have to wait that long. So now's the best time to do the Brawlers Guild if you've not got everything you want from there. Now, another thing that was made a bit easier is the Mage Tower. Now, as pre-patch launch, Mage Tower was very easy. It probably a little bit too easy than it should be, to be fair. So a lot of people took advantage of that. If you didn't, don't worry. It did get nerfed a little bit, but all they've done is added roughly 20% more health to the majority of the fights. So it's still a decent time to go into Mage Tower and blast out those challenges. Get some transmog rewards, like the Fell Werebear that you can get for Guardian Druid. And if you're really confident, go through and blast all the challenges once over each time to get the Soaring Spelltome mount to really show off your skills. So yeah, they're a bit easier. You still do have to do the mechanics of the fight, of course, otherwise you can get one-shot still, but good time to do this Mage Tower challenge. You've also got the Worldsoul-Searching Meta achievement from Midnight to work on. Now, if you haven't already done this, again, good time to do this, because likely when Midnight comes out, you're not going to be spending much time in the War Within zones. Now, compared to the other expansion meta achievements, Worldsoul-Searching isn't that difficult to complete, but it might take you some time still if you did take a break during the War Within at any point. So you get 2 really cool things for doing this. You've got the decor item, the Drained Dark Heart of Galacrond, and you've got the mount, the Gear Grinder MK11, which unfortunately doesn't kill everyone around you when you summon it. That's a shame. The boss does. Why can't we? We wouldn't cause any chaos, would we? Nah. And with the dungeons, remember, you can find the mythic base level dungeons for mounts. So you've got Wix Lead from Darkflame Cleft, and you've also got the Stonevault mech suit. Now this is a bit different. You do need to go and collect 3 trinkets from 3 different War Within dungeons, so it can take a bit of farming. And remember when you're doing this, that some of them only drop for certain specs, like one of them might be an int trinket. Paladins, I believe, are a good spec for doing this, because of course you can get the strength and the int ones at the same time. But I'll leave a link to a handy Wowhead comment on this if you're interested in farming that particular mount. Another thing to do is a bit of housekeeping. It's a good time to clear out your bags in your bank. I'm the prime suspect for this. If you take a look at mine, it's an absolute mess. So I am ashamed. Do feel free to judge me as hard as you like on this one, because that is a mess. It's a real mess. So clear your bags and bank out, and as well your quest log. You may have things in there that you're just not going to do, especially on alts. So delete all those quests, ready for a fresh quest log, fresh bags, fresh bank, to fill it with a load of Midnight junk instead. But at least it's new. And another good thing with going to the new expansion is to spend any seasonal currencies that might go away. So of course you've got things like Valor Stones, which are not going to be a thing anymore come Midnight, thank goodness. So get those spent, upgrade your gear, also use some crests if you've still got those knocking around. give yourself a little bit of a leg up when you go into the expansion with a higher item level. Just makes those first few levels a bit easier. And as well, you've also got things like Undercoin from Delves. So we're still going to be using Undercoin in Midnight, I believe. So it's likely to reset when the expansion does go live. Now, you've got things like mounts, transmog items and toys and things you can buy for Undercoin at the Delvers HQ in Donegal. So just get it spent, just in case it resets. I'm pretty sure it will do. Now consider professions as well. So there's a lot of good things to be gained from doing professions in Midnight. Decide if you want to be a gatherer to get some money coming in on the side with things like herbalism and mining, or if you want to be a full-on crafter and make useful items like potions or craft gear and weapons for you and your friends. Either way, it's a good time to check up on what's craftable in Midnight and see what you like the look of. And make sure you're ready to go and perhaps make a nice bit of gold from crafting services early on in the expansion, because it's always a very lucrative time. Decor is going to be pretty big too. There's currently around 57 items you can make across the different professions in Midnight, so it's going to be selling very well initially when the recipes first become available. So if you can make those or do work orders from them, you're going to make some steady gold coming in there. Or again, just make them for yourself, your friends, your guildies, whoever wants them. Now do bear in mind lumber gathering as well. So there are the retroactive achievements that will come in for gathering 250 lumber from each different type of expansion. So 250 Burning Crusade lumber, 250 Northrend lumber, and so on and so on. Once you've done these achievements, it will enable you to gather lumber while you are flying. So it doesn't really matter if you're already a druid, but it's a good time if you've got a druid alt to go and do those achievements. So when Midnight launches, boom, you get the achievements and any of your alts can then gather lumber while mounted. You will of course need to do the one for Midnight when that launches. You're going to have to collect the wood because obviously we can't do it right now. But yeah, just get that done as soon as you can and then all your characters can gather lumber while mounted. And with all the lumber collected from the previous expansions, it just means you've got a nice stock there to craft decor from the past expansions, which is still going to be quite in demand because it's all new, isn't it, still? So it's not a bad thing to have that lumber sat around. And remember, it's all warband transferable. And the final thing to prep is the IRL stuff. So consider, do you want to book some time off work? I know a lot of us do. I have already ensured that I will be off work for the launch. Early access launch will be on the Thursday, the 27th of February. Now, that's going to be 11 PM for me and anyone else like me in the UK. For you, it might be earlier in the day, in the morning or early afternoon. So Blizzard normally puts out the times exactly when this will be, so you can go and check those online. And for the actual normal launch, that's going to be on the 2nd of March. So it's a worldwide launch all at the same time. Now I know that launches aren't always super smooth, looking at you, Warlords of Draenor, but the past two expansion launches have gone pretty damn well. So I'm pretty confident that on that Thursday night we'll be able to do at least some of the content and hopefully get into Quel'Thalas and get going with the expansion and enjoy it. So that brings us to the end of the video. What did I miss? Tell me if you've got any tips on the things that you would do to prep for the expansion. What are you most excited for as well? Do feel free to jump into the Discord server that we've got. The link's on the channel and in the description. If you've liked this video, consider subscribing for more guides like this from the Drowsy Dragon, all about World of Warcraft. And feel free to either become a channel member or join us on Patreon as well if you want to directly support the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Thanks so much for your time today watching, guys. I've been the Drowsy Dragon, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care, and cheers.